Northwestern University's Micro-Nano-Fabrication Facility, or NUFAB, is a state-of-the-art cleanroom suite with attached staff offices and conference room in the F wing of the Technological Institute. It contains fabrication and characterization equipment available for use to all university faculty and research students, as well as outside researchers. In order to ensure that all users are kept safe, all safety equipment is maintained in the best working condition, and users are trained on safety aspects of all research equipment. At the conclusion of this video, you should be able to describe what a cleanroom is and how it works, describe the turbulent and laminar airflow inside a cleanroom, demonstrate methods for minimizing generation of particles and contamination, identify the locations of the cleanroom where users are allowed to work and what services are available, describe proper gowning, entry, and exit procedures, identify the items not allowed inside the cleanroom, explain the protocol for proper chemical use, storage, disposal, and transport. Identify the locations of cleanroom emergency equipment, and identify when cleanroom evacuation is required. Let's take a look at the NUFAB cleanroom. The NUFAB cleanroom suite is an enclosed and physically isolated work area which incorporates a high standard of controls for humidity, temperature, and filtration to minimize all forms of particulate matter and contamination. The NUFAB cleanroom is located on the ground floor of the Tech Institute in the F corridor. During normal business hours, NUFAB offices are accessible from Tech FG 70. Access to the cleanroom is restricted to users with authorized wildcards. There is a wildcard proximity reader at the entrance and the exit of the cleanroom. The interior of the cleanroom utilizes a bay chase design, with air supplied through the ceiling of the bays and returned through the chases. Bays are the clean or white areas. Bays are divided into thermal, deposition, etch, lithography, characterization, and packaging areas. NUFAB users are allowed to work only in the bays. Chases, also known as gray areas, surround all the bays. Support equipment like vacuum pumps, chillers, gas cylinders and cabinets, and liquid waste collection carts are located in the chases. Utilities like nitrogen, compressed air, and water lines run through the chases. Chases are accessible only to NUFAB staff and authorized service personnel. The following utilities are generally available throughout the cleanroom: a laboratory vacuum, house vacuum, compressed dry air, plant nitrogen, a liquid nitrogen fill-up station, and emergency power available for emergency lights and select equipment. Since air from the hallways or other rooms must never enter the cleanroom, positive pressure is maintained in the cleanroom with respect to the general building areas. Only in the case of a detected fire or gas release inside the cleanroom will the ventilation system switch the air pressure negative to the F-wing corridor. The release of smoke or gas is thus contained within NUFAB. As the name implies, cleanrooms are cleaner than regular rooms. What makes a cleanroom clean is the number of particles inside. ISO Class 1, for example, has a maximum of 10 particles per cubic meter. ISO Class 5 has a maximum of 100,000 particles per cubic meter. Every aspect of a cleanroom, the design, the airflow, and even the construction materials, control the number of particles inside and minimize contamination. That is why it is important for anyone using a cleanroom to have a basic understanding of how it works, so it can stay clean. In a cleanroom, the biggest problem is the particles that we cannot see. These particles cause contamination that can affect experiments conducted in the cleanroom. The major source of contamination comes from the human body. This is brought about by skin flakes which leave the body, break up, and disperse into the atmosphere. The whole skin surface is shed and renewed every few days. Hundreds of thousands of flakes are shed from the body each minute, even while sitting still. Other sources of particles include dust carried on shoes, outside air, wood, leather, and paper. Small particles hang on to each other and off of surfaces like equipment, the ceiling, and walls by electrostatic or molecular adhesive forces and come off by rubbing and touching. The fact that everything we do generates particles means we need to be conscious of our activities inside a clean room. For example, coughs and sneezes create considerable contamination. If you need to cough or sneeze while in a clean room, it is important to step away from samples in order to prevent contamination. Also, do not talk in the direction of experimental samples. Finally, cross-contamination occurs when matter is transferred by touch from one material surface to another. It is extremely important for you to be conscious of particles, how you generate them, and how you can prevent contamination. Let's look more closely at the basic airflow inside a clean room. As outside air enters, it is filtered by pre-filters to remove big particles. If it is cold, the air is heated to the desired temperature. Steam is added in the next stage, followed by cooling. A fan unit circulates the air through the clean room. The air enters across the whole ceiling at a constant velocity and travels rapidly downwards into the room in the form of parallel streams and exits through the raised perforated floor. The air is said to be traveling in laminar flow. The super clean air traveling downwards has the effect of pushing down particles in the air and flushing them away to the floor. Without the laminar flow from the ceiling to the floor, the low terminal velocity of the particles would keep them airborne for hours. Working in a clean room requires that you understand how particles travel and pay close attention to prevent contamination of your samples. After the laminar airflow reaches the raised floors, the air flows from the floor, up the chases towards the ceiling, and then again through the HEPA filters. In a typical clean room, air turns over 180 times per hour, or 3 times per minute, but can be as high as 10 times per minute. The clean room environment is tightly controlled from a remote network computer. In addition to particle filtration, the temperature and humidity are controlled. Before entering the NUFAB cleanroom facility, please ensure that your attire meets these basic requirements. You must be wearing clean clothes. You must wear closed shoes with an appreciable sole thickness and heels no more than 2 inches. Absolutely no sandals are allowed. No makeup or cosmetics may be worn. Dangling jewelry and sharp rings or bracelets, which might cause a glove tear or puncture, are not allowed. Do not bring coats or personal items to the NUFAB cleanroom. There is no space available to store personal items in the gowning room. Follow this procedure to enter the cleanroom. 1. Get rid of any candy or gum. 2. Clean your shoes with the shoe cleaner in the entry corridor. 3. Clean your shoe soles on the rug. 4. Put on the short shoe covers. 5. Walk over the Dyson mat. 6. Hold your wildcard close to the proximity reader at the gowning room entrance. The sliding door will open and your name will be displayed on the monitor. The gowning room is divided into 2 areas, divided by a bench and coverall racks. The first area you enter is dirty and requires short shoe covers only. With short shoe covers, you cannot go to the clean area, and with long shoe covers on, you cannot come to the dirty side. Don gloves. Handle gloves only from their sleeves. Put on a hairnet. Make sure your hair and ears are completely inside the hairnet. Put on a beard cover. Beard covers are required for all. Put on the coverall and pull the hood over your forehead, hiding all hair. Close the zipper all the way. It is important to wear the right size coverall so your ankles are completely covered. Sit on the bench separating the dirty and clean areas with your legs on the dirty side. Put a long shoe cover on one foot and swing it to the clean side. Repeat with the second foot. Put on your safety glasses outside the hood. Check for any exposed hair or any torn gowning in the mirror and fix it by tucking any hair away and replacing any torn gowning. Press the sliding door button and enter the clean room. The sliding door on the west side is for entry only. The sliding door on the east side is for exit only. As soon as you see holes or tears in shoe covers, coveralls, or hairnets, return to the gowning room, discard, and replace items. In addition to proper gowning, users may be required to use additional safety equipment including face shields, chemical-resistant gloves, heat-resistant gloves, chemical-resistant aprons and sleeves, and face masks. For more information on what safety equipment is required, contact NUFAB staff. All items must be evaluated by NUFAB cleanroom staff to ensure they are cleanroom compatible and authorized. Anything that sheds particles, emits an odor, or evaporates is not allowed in the cleanroom. Prohibited materials include cardboard, paper, only cleanroom notebooks are allowed, napkins, only cleanroom wipes are allowed, lead pencils and erasers, only ballpoint pens are allowed, leather, wood, and fine powders. Absolutely no food or beverages are allowed anywhere in the cleanroom. This includes candies, chewing gum, cough drops, and drinking water. No smoking is allowed in the building, including the cleanroom and all the labs. If you're not sure about an item, please consult with the NUFAB staff. The NUFAB cleanroom has established a strict set of protocols that all users must follow to maintain the integrity of the facility, the equipment, and to keep it safe for everyone to use. As a user of the cleanroom, you must follow the safety policy and operating procedures. Persistent violations of protocol will result in permanent revocation of access to all NUFAB facilities. For safety reasons, no user is allowed to work in the NUFAB cleanroom alone, except when NUFAB staff is close by. Do not run or walk fast in the cleanroom. Fast walking or arm movement creates turbulent vortices which disturb the laminar flow. Keep tabletops, equipment, chemical hoods, and furniture organized. When working with samples, keep hands below the bottom of a carrier and the carrier held high to allow the cleanest air to flow over the product. If you need to open the zipper of your coverall, go to the gowning room. Do not touch your face or skin while wearing cleanroom gloves. Use cleanroom wipes sparingly, since these are expensive. Prior permission from the NUFAB management is required for cleanroom tours or for bringing visitors. If permission is granted, you will be responsible for the proper gowning and behavior of your visitors while inside the cleanroom. Visitors must be accompanied at all times by an authorized person. Visitors are only allowed to observe and are strictly prohibited from operating any equipment. Use the equipment only for processes in which you are trained. Any changes to the process or a new process, no matter how minor, must be approved by the NUFAB staff before use. Follow all the instructions for the equipment that you received during training. If equipment is marked down in FOM, do not attempt to start equipment. Use proper safety equipment, like insulating gloves while using furnaces and cryo gloves when pouring cryogenic liquids. Email NUFAB staff to notify them of any equipment problems. Do not order any chemical without prior approval of the NUFAB management. Prior to placing the order, submit the following information by email to NUFAB staff: the chemical's name, its safety data sheet, or SDS, the quantity you plan to use, and the container size that you want to order. Save the approval email reply from NUFAB management as your receipt. The safety staff may ask you to write a standard operating procedure, or SOP, for extremely hazardous chemicals and get it approved before any order may be approved. Once you receive the chemical, file the SDS in the MSDS Online system. Chemicals can be very dangerous and even lethal. It is your responsibility to follow all the safety precautions described in the SDS for each chemical that you use. Always read and understand the chemical label. Look for harmonized signal words, pictograms, hazard statements, and precautionary statements. You must wear full personal protective equipment, or PPE, when working with dangerous chemicals. This includes chemical-resistant aprons, gloves, sleeves, and face shields. Additional safety equipment must be used if the SDS of that chemical requires it. All chemicals must be used in proper chemical hoods. The only exceptions are solvents like acetone, methanol, and isopropanol in squeeze bottles that can be removed from the solvent hoods if necessary for cleaning, but must be returned to the solvent hoods after use. Focus on your work when using dangerous chemicals. Do not talk, text, or answer phones. Chemicals must be stored in an appropriate storage cabinet. Acids must be stored in an acid cabinet, and solvents must be stored in a solvent cabinet. The label for mixed chemicals must include the date mixed, each component and its percentage, and your name. Always use a chemical transport cart or carrier to transport chemicals between rooms. Never remove chemicals in beakers from the hood. Absolutely no hazardous chemicals may be discarded in cup sinks that drain to the sewer. Use all wet bench drains for chemicals according to their label. There are 5 mixed waste streams in NUFAB: caustic, acid, hydrofluoric acid, non-halogenated solvents, and halogenated solvents. These must be collected for disposal separately by using the labeled cup sinks. Please contact staff for proper disposal. Follow this procedure to exit the clean room. Go to the gowning room through the sliding door on the east side. Take the safety glasses off and leave them in the bin. Sit on the bench with your feet on the clean side. Take off the long shoe cover from one foot and swing it to the dirty side of the bench. Repeat with the second foot. Take off the coverall and place it on the hanger. Discard your hairnet, beard cover, and gloves in the trash can. Hold your wildcard near the reader and leave the gowning room. Your name will move from current users to last users on the screen. Take off the short shoe covers and leave them in the bin. Important points to remember. The order of gowning is short shoe covers, gloves, hairnet, beard cover, coverall, long shoe covers, and safety glasses. Remove in reverse order. Follow this procedure to take things out of the clean room. Double bag all items you will be taking to another clean room. Bring the item to the gowning room and place it on the wire bench along the east wall. Remove gowning, pick up the item, and take it with you when you exit. The NUFAB clean room contains the following equipment for use in emergencies: fire alarms, emergency door release, bench and tool emergency power off or emergency machine off buttons, safety showers and eye wash stations, fire extinguishers, first aid kit, automatic fire sprinkler system, phones, tool or bench exhausts, and the Honeywell toxic gas monitoring and control system. The Honeywell system detects toxic gases, flammable gases, and nitrous oxide, and displays current status on the Human-Machine Interface, or HMI. NUFAB users can view the HMI touchscreen at the NUFAB entrance and see the Honeywell system status at any time. A gas alarm level 1 is indicated with a yellow light. Honeywell system trouble, or the activation of an emergency power off, or EPO, on a gas cabinet or valve manifold box is indicated by a blue light. If the Honeywell system is inoperable, NUFAB activities involving flammable or toxic gases are not permitted. A gas concentration above the detection limit but below an alarm limit is indicated by a blinking green non-zero gas concentration warning on the HMI. The safety of all cleanroom users is the university's highest priority. Due to the higher quantity of hazardous materials used and stored inside, the NUFAB suite is designed to meet the requirements of a higher hazard class than other laboratories. Because of these hazards, It is extremely important that all users should know how to respond in the case of an accident or emergency. It is also important that you are familiar with the safety features and equipment. There are 2 scenarios that require immediate evacuation of the NUFAB facility. The first is activation of the fire alarm system, indicated by white strobes and an evacuation message. If there is a fire hazard in the clean room, but the alarm is not activating, manually activate the alarm by pulling down on the red fire alarm pull station. The second scenario, where evacuation is required, is activation of a gas alarm level 2, or red alarm, indicated by a red blinking light and a horn on the stacked light tower. Alarms may not sound if a sensor has malfunctioned or a user brings an unauthorized chemical that cannot be detected by the gas sensors into the NUFAB cleanroom. If you have reason to believe there is a toxic gas in the cleanroom but the alarm is not activating, lift the plastic flap and push the red button on any EGO station. The EGO button closes all cylinder gas valves and activates the red alarm lights and horn. For any evacuation alarm, use the nearest available emergency exit. Exit through the Tech F corridor and out of the Tech F&G wing, or exit through the vestibule onto Tech Drive and out of the building. To exit from the vestibule in an emergency, use the yellow door emergency unlock panel. It is important that these are used only in the event of an emergency. After exiting the NUFAB cleanroom, go to the evacuation rally point next to the Technological Institute loading dock. From a safe location, immediately notify the NUFAB staff emergency contacts and call 456 to notify the University Police Dispatcher. As you can see, keeping the cleanroom clean and safe for all its users is very involved. With your help, we can make sure the NUFAB cleanroom facility is a place where excellent research continues to be conducted. If you have any questions about the NUFAB cleanroom facility or the services available inside, please consult with the NUFAB facility staff.